the second-class traditional ruler in charge of Lapo Muslim clan that time. Yes. So he called them. They claimed that our youth gave them money. They asked how much. They mentioned about 170,000. Came being our royal highness asked, well, can we produce the money so that we can give them to go out of our land? Which we said, yeah, we brought the money. He invited Umaru several times.
Who's Umaru?
Umaru is the leader of the Fulani herdsmen.
Umaru who? Do you have the son name?
I don't know his son name. Yellow is just also known as Yellow.
Okay, Umaru Yellow then.
Umaru
okay,
Yellow.
Okay.
So when we called them, when the royal highness called him in his palace to come and take the money, he refused. We begged him so many times and sent message across. He refused coming.
So the money that was collected, let's assume, because you're sounding like it's not true, but let's assume the youths actually collected the money. The money, was it selling the land, or was it allowing them to graze on the land, or was it allowing them, time for a beat on the land? What did Umaru Yellow say at the time?
He said that it was to allow them graze on the land. That after 6 months that he will vacate. But up to now.
So since 2009, 6 months has expired.
Yes.
170,000 naira has also expired, and they're still grazing on the land.
Yes.
But why is grazing on the land such a bad thing?
Etche people is predominantly farmers.
Okay.
Our main occupation is farming. So anything that will degrade our land, that will make our land not to be fertile, to produce food enough, that thing is a very big problem to the community. Now, we don't have any bush where we can go and cut. So we leave our farmlands just like 3-4 years so that the land will mature, the bush will mature. When you cut it and plant, you will harvest better cassava or any crop at all. But these days, since the invasion of the Fulani herdsmen, nothing like that again. Everywhere just like desert. And you cannot plant anything and get anything. Anywhere the cows match their leg, you cannot put hole and dig, and it will be busy for you.
So the land is not as fertile as it should be.
At all. Because no money again.
The talk about uprooting of plants, is that also a problem? Because I was in the community, I spoke to I think the women secretary or something,
yes,
and she mentioned that their crops are being uprooted. What would you say about that?
Yes, what they do, more especially when they go and see that no person in that farm is in the farm, they used to uproot the cassava and give to their cow to be feeding. Like those cassava will show you from the picture.
Yeah.
And it is the one the cow did it was when the owner came into the farm and harassed them, they ran away and leave it. But others, when they uproot, they drop for the cow will be eating it and getting fatter. They say that the thing gives their cow enough nutrients in the body to grow and get fat.
So why can't they? Now, I don't know, you're the Eze in that region. If the herders decide to pay for a parcel of land so that they can farm and give cassava to their cows, would you allow it in the community?
If they want to acquire land to keep their cows, I think it will create a kind of employment, because you will hire people who will cut grasses and not cassava. Because cows used to feed on grasses. You have to pay people to be cutting the grasses and keeping for the cows to be eaten, and not cassava or damaging other economic crops in our farms.
Okay, so now, have you gone back to discuss with these herders, the leadership, this Umaru Yellow, and say, you are destroying our farmlands? Can you stop destroying our farmland? Have you also tried to, what if we give you a parcel of land so you can graze there? Also, have you notified them that there is the anti-open grazing law? Do you know about the anti-open grazing law?
Yes, the one our former governor signed into law before he left office.
Okay, did you tell them about it?
We told them. They said that They don't know anything they will do. That their cows are feeding on those grasses. And I say, from the grasses you enter to our cassava. Yeah, the thing is finishing our cassava. Like what you asked me, this matter was reported to the Farmers Headers Committee of Etche local government. The current chairman of that committee now, being as Ugu Godwin, now invited them.
Is it
Godwin?
Godwin. What position does he?
He's our current second class traditional ruler now
for Etche,
for Odagwa clan.
Odagwa clan,
out of Odagwa Muslim.
Okay.
The newly created clan.
Okay.
By Etche before he left. Yes. So we reported the matter to him. He invited them, Bindo Maro, and the secretary of the Meiti Allah, who is residing in Port Harcourt. The secretary came at our local government headquarters. The day he came, they were waiting for Maro. Maro refused coming. On 2 occasions like that, we reported to police, the divisional police officer in charge of Etche local government. They invited them. They refused coming. And that is why now we decided to consult our lawyer to write to government to notify them before they will come and fight us. Because Fulanis are good in fighting.
Like I said, let's not make it a tribal thing on the show. We're looking at the facts. We're not looking at trying to start a war. I want to ask, I've got 2 minutes before my first commercial break. What has your representative, who represents you at the House of Assembly and then at the National Assembly, what have they done as it relates to this issue? You said since 2009. This is what now? 2009 to 2013 is 4 years. That's about 15 years. So what have they done in all of these times,
That time we have complained to them.
To the lawmakers?
Yes, they say it's a national issue, that they will look into it.
That's what they said?
Yes, it's a national issue. They will look into it. Before now, when the thing is trying to get out of hand, we have to consult our barrister and ask him to write on our behalf.
So, sorry, who's representing that constituency? Can someone help me with that? Yeah, federal. So Kelechi Wogo's at the Federal House of Reps. Then the Senate is Allwell Onyesu. And then for the House of Assembly, maybe we'll have to do a research on that one. And so they said it's a national issue.
Yes.
Interesting. But when they came to ask for votes, it wasn't okay. We'll let that be. We'll go for our first commercial break. When we do come back, we'll look at the issues. And my question to you listening is very simple. How do we tackle this issue before it becomes a national issue, like the lawmakers say? It's not yet a national issue in the River State as far as I'm concerned, but how do we ensure that it does not become a national issue? This is where you come in and this is where you play your part. I'll be right back. All right, 27 minutes gone past the hour of 4. You're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. 7 minutes gone past the hour. I said it already, yeah? I am Khaled Akurubatu, and this is Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. By the way, I've just been told that the traffic situation at Rumusi is crazy. Government will have to do something about that to see how we can have alternative channels with which we can travel, because it's crazy. Man hours are lost there. Quality man hours are lost there while you're trying to navigate your way through the Rumusi-Rumekini area on the east-west road. So the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Works for now should look into ensuring that they make it very possible for us to be able to use that part of the road. So back to my conversation, I am talking about herders and farmers relationship. Maybe that's a good way to put it, in Etche local government, and I have the Eze of Umu. I'm gonna get Umue-Deo-Kwara. Umue-Deo-Kwara. Odagwa Etche. I'm in person of Eugene and Amadi in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I have JC Williams, is a legal practitioner, and he will be giving us some legal expertise on the show as well. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
I'll get to you shortly. Just be patient with me. I'm trying to get the background story from Eze, okay. Eugene and Amadi. So Eze, welcome back to you. I was asking, about the lawmakers, and you told me off air that the lawmakers who said it was a national issue are the lawmakers from time past, the previous lawmakers.
Yes.
The current lawmakers are looking at trying to tackle the issue. What about the local government chairman?
The local government chairman, he relied on the committee established, being the Farmers and Herders Committee.
Okay.
So everything concerning farmers and herders, he referred it to the committee. If you call it, go and meet the committee.
So he hasn't necessarily done anything apart from referring you to the committee?
When we reported to him, he still refers to the committee. And the committee is making their effort, but the Fulani herdsmen refuse answering them. So
do you think if the local government chairman, what's his name again? I'm trying to remember. I keep forgetting. Obinna. Yeah. Do you think if he becomes a part of this that there may be results? Do you think so? I mean, he's the local government. It's like the executive officer of the local government. Do you think so?
No, see, he has done what he can do.
What has he done?
What he did is just to form a committee that will look into that problem.
Okay. All right. JC.
Yes.
Good afternoon to you.
Good
once
afternoon.
Again. There is a law, anti-grazing or anti-open grazing law in River State. I mean, some southern states in Nigeria also did pass that law. Why do you think it's not effective? Who do we hold accountable? Is it the executive at the local government level, the executive at the state level? Who do we hold accountable for these issues? And by the way, it's not just in Etche, and it's not just in Odagwa first. In many parts of Etche, and not just in Etche, many other local governments where famine is a thing. So how do you think, or who do you think we should hold accountable?
Thank you, my brother. You see, it's most regrettable that virtually everything in River State is politics.
Okay.
It's most regrettable. Otherwise, we are all witnesses to what happened during the immediate past administration. When that law, open grazing law, was signed by His Excellency, the then Governor Nyeso Wike. And the vigor, the speed with which he signed that law made people believe that, look, this open grazing madness will have to stop. But regrettably, just like you said here in your intro, because of politics, nobody wants to, the authority do not want to act law signed by the state governor, by the state government. Why will anybody in any guise still rear, even inside Port Harcourt City, we see cow on the road? So I think this is a wake-up call to the government of the day. Because, you see, gradually, it's coming. This is what we heard in Benue and in Plateau. They come, before you know it, they will overrun the community. When the community wants to say no, before you know it, they will be sleeping at night. The next thing, you know.
No, we don't pray for that.
We don't pray for that. So that is why I say this is a wake-up call to the government of Rivers State now to act. There is a law in place. That law should be implemented.
And actually, yet again, you are a legal practitioner. Who do you think should be the one to implement? Now, there is the laws. Should it be the local government chairman? Should it be the state governor? The police, for instance? Because he said, Eugene Amadi said that they have written to the police, through their lawyer. They've written to the police, and I guess the matter is being looked at the police. The commissioner of police, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yes.
So if that is the case, who do we hold? Who's supposed to implement? This?
When the law is made, it is the duty of the police to arrest law offenders and prosecute.
Okay.
Now, I understand that this community have engaged the services of a lawyer who has written to the National Assembly, has written to the Commissioner of Police Rivers State, has written to the Governor, has written to the Director of DSS, and all of that. Sometime last week, I think on Thursday precisely, the Commissioner of Police, information available to me, wanted to meet with the community. Unfortunately, that day there was MTN network issue.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then they got the message very late on Thursday, and of course that meeting couldn't hold. And the assurances from the office of the commissioner is that this week there will be a date will be given to them. Now the point is that if the community have notified the government, as it were, and these so-called headers are still there, government will have to rise up. The government will have to rise up. The government of the state, I mean, will have to rise up and then arrest this situation.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will degenerate. And we know, God forbid, if it is happening in Etche, Odagwa here, which is about 20-minute drive from here, the next thing it will come into
about 30 minutes.
Yes, about that.
30 minutes.
So the government, my plea is that the government of Governor Sim Fubara should rise up now. Rise up now.
I just you can see the note in front of me. It's also happening. My colleague just told me it's also happening in Omadema. Is it Omademe?
Omademe. Okay, that's in Ikwere local government.
Ozwaha.
You see?
Ipo,
just go by the airport here.
Abara Etche. You can see it also. So it's not just.
So it's not just. It's not that the Odagwa people have, they have risen up to say no, government. See what is happening, but it's not happening there alone. So my plea here is that the government of the day should rise up, so that Rivers State do not turn to Benue and Plateau, God forbid.
Okay.
So the earlier the better. The government of Governor Sim Fubara should wake up, because this letter has also been written to his office. And then they say a stitch in time saves 9.
Okay.
So that our people, we are talking of a food shortage, and we know in Rivers State, Etche is the food basket of Rivers State. So if the farmers cannot access their farms anymore, I mean, what do we do?
Okay.
Food is no longer coming from the north. As Rivers State people are, if you go to Igrita now, you see Etche people are bringing food there. People from Port Harcourt will go to Igrita to buy. So if they are not able to access their farm anymore, are we not going to die of hunger? Do we wait until all of us start dying of hunger? So government should rise up now and do the needful.
Let me come back to you quickly. Have we seen any situation where there's been a fight resulting from, all of these activities of the elders? And but have they been threats to the lives of Etche people?
Yes. It happened at Abara.
Okay.
Abara in Etche. Like the information reaching you now, all these places, even Nipo, farmers and headers are always clashed there, and that is what we are trying to avoid in Umue-Deo-Kwara community.
Okay, so there have been no threats to the people in your community.
No, what they do is that if you meet them in your farm and say, Malam, come out the car. They will carry out their dagger. If you come now, they will dagger you. The women
that's what happens.
Yes. Very big threat. And when they run away like that, they will come and complain. The youth want to go. I say, no, don't go. Let's do not take the laws into our hand before we consulted our council.
So now you're making a plea to the government, because when you invited me, I listened to you and you made a plea to the government. Now that you're making a plea to the government and the relevant authorities, what are you demanding? What are your demands?
What we are demanding from the government to do for us, they should leave our farmland. Government should look a place, acquire land and keep them.
Even if it's in that community, you're not bothered about that.
No, if anybody who has land to sell to them, you can. It's your bona fide right. It's your property. You can decide how to do it. As of them to come and settle in our farmlands and destroy our crops, and we go on hunger, it's not good. It's uncalled for. That is why I'm begging the government now to come to our aid.
Can you give us a measurement of how many farms, statistics or data of how many farms have been invaded by herders in your community?
It's uncountable, please. We have 6 farm roads.
6 farm roads.
And each of these 6 farm roads get more than 200 people farming in each of the farm roads, because we have strangers living in our place, like Akwa Ibom people and Dibo people. So as they live there with us, we sell land to them for farming. Then they will farm. As they are destroying our own, so they are destroying their own crops too. That is it. We have
6 farm roads. Yes, so a farm road can contain like how many farms?
More than 200. We have land.
So more than 200 farms, yes. 6 farm roads. Yes. That's like 1,200 farms.
Farms, yes.
More. So I'm just trying to understand, what kind of food items do you what's the word now? Do you focus on or produce? Yeah,
we produce cassava.
Okay.
We produce yam, even cocoyam.
Okay.
Pepper, tomatoes, and so many things. Because our land is fertile, anything you plant there, you harvest it well.
And you're able to supply to the rivers markets.
Yes.
Interesting. And so this is, possibly going to affect the food stability once again in Rivers State. And, maybe it's not maybe it's not a wrong call, rather. It's not a wrong call on the governor of Rivers State to look into, and also the local government chairman, Umue-Deo-Kwara, to look into this issue. And hopefully the meeting with the police this week, the Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, this week would yield certain results. And hopefully Umue-Deo would come and have a conversation. But how do we enforce this now, JC Williams?
You see, the enforcement, the law says when you break the law, you will be arrested.
Okay.
Investigated. If you are found to have broken the law,
all right,
you will be arraigned in court. You see the problem here is that people just feel they can do anything, and after all, nothing will happen. That is why a whole divisional police headquarters will invite a header or anybody. Come, there is a petition against you, and the person will say, "I'm not coming."
Have they been invited by
the police? Yes. The Okehi Divisional Police Office have invited the Omaro man, and he refused to come. That is why, by the time the law catches up with such a person, he will know that law is law. That's my plea is that the police should rise up to the occasion. Now, you see, this is a community making plea. This is a very peaceful community. I can tell you that for free. They are making the plea now. Please, government, come. Police, come. One person cannot be bigger than the law of Nigeria.
Okay.
And if the Omaro or Yellow, whatever he says his name, still, refuses to, attend to.
Sorry. Can we say something just popped in my? Can we say that the ignorance of the, how do I put it, language barrier? Can we use language barrier as an excuse? You know, is that admissible in law?
No. In fact, the ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Language. What is language? The only recognized language in Nigeria today, official language, is English. So you cannot say the Umaru doesn't know when they say come to police station. He cannot claim that he doesn't know what they mean by that. And meanwhile, the Mieti Allah secretary in the state attended one of the meetings, and they asked him, where is Umaru? Everybody, including the DPO, waited for Umaru. He refused to come. Let me tell you something. Do you know, today, as the community was protesting today, I was there, and I even saw on our way, I even saw two small boys, Fulani, with cow on the road. I mean,
I took a picture.
Just imagine that. So nobody is saying, all of us are Nigerians, quite all right, but there is a law. The law said, don't graze your cattle openly. Don't destroy another person's property because you want to make money. That's it. Right. However you want to do your business, but you shouldn't destroy other people's own. We're talking of food shortage. How are we going to do a reverse if Etche stop producing food? I still insist that the governor of the state, this is time to rise up before it gets out of hand.
All right. Let's open the phone lines now. Like I said, I've been hearing reports that these clashes, these conflicts between, or these sour relationship between farmers and herders have been spreading across River State. But I did not know that the spread is, as much. I mean, my colleague, like I said not too long ago, told me in Omademe, Ozwaha, Ipo, Abara, Etche, Elele, I think somewhere in Awuda, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And these things are happening, and right now it's being swept under the carpet, but it may become a monster that will be too big for us to handle in the future. So it's time for us to talk about this. If you've got an experience, I'd like to hear from you. But if you've not, how do you think we can handle this situation before it gets out of hand? And that's what I'm asking you listening right now. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. Now, you should take note. The Eze in the studio has said that he's welcoming these people. He's not chasing them out of the community. However, they have to do things the right way and through the right channel and not destroy their crops. So it's not a case of we don't want them in, as it would have been in many other parts of the country, right? So how do you think we can handle this situation? I really would love to hear from you. And please, let's not make it about tribe. Let's not, do hate speech on the show. That's also a crime. And let's not use my show to do hate speech. Hard facts of Mr. Basketball. The herders are unleashing the same havoc all over in your Kana axis of Ogoni land. Politicians and royal fathers in our Rivers State have betrayed the people by not protecting lives and properties of Rivers people due to political gains. These herders, when confronted, always lied that they paid money to unnamed persons for permission. It's just a matter of time. Many parts of Rivers States will be Plachuk, Bene, Opoku, Kana, LGA. I've got Obina. Obina is calling from NTA Road. Obina, welcome on the show, please.
Okay, good evening. Welcome, Chief, welcome. It's simple. Look at the two things that are actually there. One is that the Etche man refused to come to the police because he believed that I don't understand. He refused to come and answer. They are all impunity. I was driving down yesterday from Umue-Deo-Kwara down. I was going to the airport and come and see invasion of almost 30 of them from the bush. They just came out with their dogs, with their guns, with their knife. Very alarming. It was frightening. They just came out like that from the bush. So they were coming
Are you sure you saw guns?
How can you come from far away north and then you come? And if they enter inside the forest like that, anything they see, they come down. If it's women that are there, they rape. They do all kinds of crimes. And the second one is the open grazing law that the so-called law that has been written down and that we have in River State. Since that time, right from the very first day it was enacted into law today, they kept breaking it. It means that you can see that the law was just an academic exercise because it was not effective and nobody is trying to implement or do anything about it. You see, so these are the things. And when people come and say that we don't understand whether we are one people in a country, you know, the chief there will actually say it because it's mature for him to say that he's welcoming them. That's why he's welcoming people that are actually inconveniencing him. He's stopping, threatening his life and his people. Right now that we have food shortage in the country where we are supposed to encourage farmers, in fact, you don't understand, Kalada, or whatever, you don't understand. If you have a farm and then you see where these cows come to, your farm that you're going to patiently wait for almost 1 year for you to harvest, 6 months, 7 months, and in a minute, a cow will just come, match it, eat, and destroy it. I don't understand. And he's taking us under the carpet.
All right.
And we are just going to complain. Please, Chief, I have to take drastic action.
Let's do according. Obina, thank you very much. We have to do it according to the law. Let's stay within the ambits of the law. Muriel is calling from Okrika. Muriel, welcome on the show. What is on your mind, please?
Yeah, Kennedy, good afternoon.
Yeah, Muriel, welcome.
Look, Kennedy, I think it's very worrisome. You to be in your own community and you cannot live in if you cannot have peace. Even the Bible says two cannot work together unless they expect they agree.
Okay.
Now, Kennedy, rearing these cattle, if you look very well, they are little boys. Most times young boys, young men, and they are the owners of these cattle. I think the government should call on the owners of the cattle. Let them come with the union. They should have their union, their union, and they should call people. I think we must have one of these meetings, and maybe for the people in the studio, maybe they came out of these meetings. I think the government needs to call them and tell them, look, you see, that's actually doing this. You came from wherever you came from your land and you come to another person, you want to do business. Fine, it's acceptable. You want to farm. This cattle raising is livestock farming. You need to go through the way other people are doing business. You get a land, you get a place. The practice is free, but the land belongs to people. It can be asked with the community, tell them that this is a particular place. There are places in the community where they've not even touched. These are thick forests. You tell the community leaders that you will be there. If they want to sell, you fine. If it's okay, yes, people fine. But there must be an agreement. Cannot enforce on people's land. It cannot make people uncomfortable in their own land. This is not acceptable. They are in your land, they are uncomfortable. They are in their own land, they are uncomfortable. This is not acceptable. Honestly, they have to do their business the normal way everybody does their business.
All right, thank you, Muriel. But I'm looking for solutions now. How do you think we can handle this? Alfred from Iwafe, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you, please.
Good evening.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yes. What is happening in Nigeria is just alarming. It is only in Nigeria you will hear that Nigeria. All over the world, wherever you go, you see united people of this, United States of this. To tell you that the people, they are different people, they are free to stay together. That is why they put the united. Now, I am surprised that you see these Fulani herdsmen or cattle rearers moving from one street to the other with their cattle. Are they rearing the culture or what? What kind of country are we living in? We have leaders. The right things to do, they refuse to do. So, our leaders have failed us. They have failed us. What do we do? How can you come from far away, begin to come and disturb people in their own land? It's not done like that now.
All right. All right. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Alfred. Oh, Alfred, I beg your pardon. I've got Daniel from Agri Road. Daniel, welcome. I think Daniel should be the last caller for now, so I can read some messages. Daniel, welcome. What is on your mind, please?
Okay, thank you. So far, never state concern. All you need is peace.
Okay.
And we need to take our neighbors as our own brothers too.
Okay.
I know this thing over 3 years, it has been different. When we begin to hear complaints from other local governments as we are ravaging the communities. Even sometimes some of these complaints, if you listen them to the radio, I don't think it is possible. You would think to yourself that those things complaints are not possible. And police have gone into investigate and then come out that there was nothing like that. So whatever we are doing, let us add love. We are staying with strangers and they are in our own town. Okay. There are ways we live with them.
Okay.
The peace will continue. But when you begin to add this hatred and people begin to do some certain complaints, add that with hatred, even the law, the River State government passed. How did they pass it? Did they pass it with good faith? So all we need is peace.
So how do we achieve this peace now, please?
Let them continue to live with them, please. They are working within the community where they are. At the head of the community, call them time to time.
But did you hear the part where they said? Did you hear the part where? I mean, I don't live in the community. I only went there today. But did you hear the part where the people who live in the community say that said that they have called and the headers are not replying or responding?
That is where some of us will go into investigate this matter if they are true or false.
Oh, so are you saying that me going out there for eyewitness or is it eyewitness report it's not good enough? Is that what you're saying?
I think this eyewitness for me is not good enough.
Oh, okay. All right then. All right.
Go into investigation.
All right then. I wonder what other investigation you mean, but thank you very much, Daniel. Daniel says we didn't do good enough. So what do you think about that? But let's read some messages. This one says, "Hello, Canada. Why is it difficult for Nigeria to practice the animal husbandry method used abroad? Their cows produce better milk than our own cows that trek from Sokoto to Port Harcourt. The grasses these cows eat belong to someone, after all, and these cows eat it for free. Why don't we practice what other countries practice to end this farmer-herders clash once and for all?" Bernard from Port Harcourt. This one says, "Canada, the herders and farmers clashes will not end until ranches are created. Most of these cows grazing in the state are owned by politicians and some military officers. That is why the herdsmen seem to be uncontrollable." Mark Opwene from Etche, I believe. Okay, this one says, "Canada, please." Okay, I'm moving on. So this Mietiala was invited by the police for a meeting and the man blatantly refused, yet is walking freely. The nerve. But if the Etche people rise up to defend themselves the best they know how, police will wake up, Abi. When you push a man to the wall, Canada, what should he do since there is no more room to be pushed into? I need an answer, please. Newton, let's call for peace, that's all I'm saying. Ifeanyi Okolise from Iba says, okay, all right, not for me, I guess. Moving on. Says, "Good afternoon to you. Please ask your guest, the chief, if he knows the original owner of those cows, because findings have revealed that most cows here are owned by people here that the herdsmen are being paid to take care of. Example, 99% of cows in Onelga are owned by," you mentioned the name. "In this instance, implementation as well as an enforcement of the anti-grazing law will not be effective, because those who own the cows are in government directly or indirectly, hence the reason that the law is not binding." Baba K from Port Harcourt. Jimbo Baraye Caribou Nelson says, "Urgent action is therefore needed to address the expansionist approach by the herdsmen. The safety and well-being of the ordinary citizens of the area must be a top priority for the government, and I implore the charismatic governor to immediately address the issue of the affected communities. Jimbo Barrier Karibo Nelson from Ogu Town. So we're going to wrap the conversation now. Let's see. Facebook, Erasmus Jacob says, it is so sad that the government of Rivers State don't value the protection of lives and property of its citizens. If we consider this rascality as minor, it will return to us as a major problem. I plead with the Rivers State government to be swift into action to save the state from the looming danger. Thanks. This one says, man of the people, the community reps are correct. These headers are both the law. Positive God's power, positive links with that one. Okay, thank God, I think I've read your message. So many other messages, but I've got to go back to my guest. Talking about ownership and sometimes the owners being in the corridor of powers, or power rather. Could that also be a problem why things are not implemented, J.C. Williams?
It's a law, it's law. Whether the owner of cattle is the president of Nigeria or not, law must take its course. If there is a law that says, nobody say don't own cattle. You shouldn't own cattle. And the only way your cattle will do well is to destroy another person's property. That is not the law. The law gives you the right to own whatever you want to own. But don't destroy another person's own. That is it. So whether the owners of cattle are in government or out of government, do it according to rear your cattle or own your cattle according to the law. That is the point these communities, community is making. We are not against them, but don't kill us because you want to own cow.
All right. Eze, do you think maybe the community, the Umue-Deo-Kwara, Odagwa, area should maybe put out a parcel of land and say, hey, if you're going to rear cattle, this is where you rear. Do you think that will work? Do you think the community can do that?
We don't have such land.
That is true. He has even said it before that they have individual lands too. If the headers meet individual owners, and they decide to give them
could rent it.
No, see, even today we are protesting.
Okay.
The council can bear me witness.
Okay.
There were women and men that came from our
I was there.
Nearby community. Umue-Deo-Kwara.
Yes, that's true.
They came with the same report. So we are suffering a lot in Etche local government.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we would have to say goodbyes right now.
Yes. I want to once more appeal to the government of Rivers State to rise up now if they don't want Rivers people to die of hunger. Because if anything affects Etche to the extent that food can no longer come from Etche, you can be rest assured that Rivers people will suffer.
Okay. All right. You want to have your final words, please?
My final words is that we are appealing to the government of the day to come to our aid. If they can acquire land for them, if hence we say it's one Nigeria, they should acquire land and keep the cows.
The government should do that.
Yes, they should. If the Fulanis cannot go and find where they will keep that cow, than to come to our community and destroy our crops.
All right then.
Destroying our daily bread.
All right then.
It's not good. It's not fair.
Because the story, sir, is teaching time saves now.
I don't have time. Thank you very much, J.C. Williams, and thank you very much, Eze Eugene. Amadi, thank you for your time, and I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, then the news update up next. Just stay tuned.